This is George Boston Rhynes in Valdosta, Georgia, once again talking about the home area in which I live and the surrounding counties and states. Today is November the 9th, 2012. We are riding with the intent of showing how newsworthy information are not, and I do mean not, dispersed among the people here in Valdosta and South Georgia in general. As we ride, we are going to talk, or rather listen to, information that took place in Rosewood, Florida. You all have heard the movie that was made in Rosewood and down near the Cedar Keys. And Mr. John Robinson, his grandchildren, along with myself, did work down there, and we notified all the news media and etc., etc. However, it was like many other things that go on in Valdosta and surrounding areas. If it does not affect certain people, then it is not newsworthy. Much of the Equipment 10 information have been ignored. And so today we're going to ride, and I'm going to try to enlighten you or to share with you what happened in Rosewood, along with the famous psychologist Marvin Dunn. Marvin Dunn is a man who bought 5 acres of land down in Rosewood, yet you know little to nothing about it. But even more important than that is that the bridge which was built here in Valdosta, Georgia by John Robinson was transported to Rosewood and is a part of the landscape down there now as they get ready to do work in terms of trying to make that a state park. And so I want you to just listen to what took place probably back in 2010, I believe it was. Let's just listen, and I just want you to know what it should have been probably on the front page of the Valdosta Daily Times for people in the local community reaching out beyond themselves and their own community and doing work that the world would love to know about. If we were committing crimes or doing drugs or something of that nature, it is beyond question that the Valdosta Daily Times and other South Georgia television and radio station would have talked about it. But let's do what others failed to do and see if it catch your interest. And by the way, on Boston G.B.R. channel, we have videos concerning Rosewood. You can Google that, and people are reviewing it from around the nation. We have been called to give tours of Rosewood, but here again, here in Valdosta, Georgia, that is little of no importance to you, according to those in the press. And so we're going to let them do what they do, and now we're going to do what we do. Listen to Marvin Dunn as he talked about what took place in Rosewood in 2010. Listen, please. November the 9th, 2012.
Thank you very much for that addition, and we'll have you back very soon. There are some folks I'd like to introduce at this point. These are people who have led the effort to provide the funding needed to do the work here in Rosewood.
We met, and there were people who did funding, gave their money. Listen please.
When we first bought this property, where you are sitting right now, looked like that. All right, we couldn't walk. As a matter of fact, you'll see little red tags on the trees around here. We had to put those up so we could find our way out once we get into the woods here. John Robinson, come on, John, is a friend of mine going back many, many years. I won't go into the details about that. But we've been very good friends for a long time. And John Robinson is one of the smartest men I know. He can build anything. He can operate any kind of equipment. So he got his son and his grandson down here from Valdosta, Georgia. Got his wife here now who's a cook, prepared meals for you today. This family, the Robinsons, have been just wonderful in clearing this land. Everything you see that's been down here, they did it. If you go back to the railroad track, you see the old railroad track is cleared out. They did that as well. So the bridge that they brought down from Valdosta on the back of a pickup truck so that we could walk across the wet area, they named it the Robinson Bridge. So they've just been absolutely wonderful, beautiful kids, and I just want to John to say a few words and introduce the boys.
I'm John Robinson. I'm a minister from the First Missionary and the First Missionary Baptist Church out of Valdosta. So giving honor to God, the head of all our lives, we need to go from. We is honored to be here on behalf of Dr. Marvin Dunn and the people that died at here, and I am also a Mason. and it was the Masons that defended this place out here. And we're looking forward to some of them to be here. I'm not going to take a great deal of your time, but it is indeed a pleasure for us to be here and be part of something so historical. I found a nail, and we found another nail. We've been helping archaeologists dig. This nail is the nail that I brought out here. This is the nail that came off that table back there. Through the period of time, this nail here is in 2011. This is back here, God knows when, it's deteriorated in time. We can use these nails as symbolism as what's going on here today. That these nails was all both used for purposes of holding things together and bringing things together, that they can stand in a mass and hold and unite things together. It's the unity that we have in our hearts for you to be here today on behalf of Dr. Marvin Dunn, in behalf of what me and my grandsons have done, in behalf of the Masons that died out here in these woods defending this place. It is indeed an honor. I'm going to introduce, this is Nazareth Robinson, this is my grandson. Say hello. This is Bud, and his name is Jesus Robinson. Say hello. And this is my son Nazareth, and this is John Robinson, my grandson, and this is Alizé, my other grandson. And we can be with pleasure to be here, Dr. Marvin Dunn. Everyone here that's involved for permitting us to be part of this.
Thank you, John. Thank you, boys.
This is something that I feel, and many people have felt who know about what John Robinson, his grandsons, and I travel down there too on many occasions. The work that we done to see the keys, sometimes we stayed overnight. But here again, we informed the local press. They know what we had done because I have email addresses for practically all the newspapers across South Georgia and the state of Georgia in general. But once again, it seems as if, though, just like the picture of Barack Obama should have been on the front page of the Valdosta Daily Times and other South Georgia newspapers, seems to be unnewsworthy or not newsworthy. We also know much information concerning the problems in Brooks County, like me being unable to get on the Brooks County Board agenda to speak, and that other people apparently has been denied for the last few years because no one has been recorded in the minutes as addressing the board because of their outdated procedures for getting on the board. On July the 17th, a major problem dealing with possible intimidation and disenfranchisement of voters in Brooks County, and yet you don't know nothing about it, although it should have been published and the citizens should know what took place, but as usual they were left ignorant because it was not published. And we can't blame anybody but ourselves. We're not blaming any newspaper, television, or radio station. We are only saying to the people in South Georgia, why do you allow you yourselves to be treated in this fashion in 2012? A little city such as Americus, Georgia has 5 newspapers, and a metro city like Valdosta only has 1, and of course USA Today. So it's so much information that people are not privy to, and I think that this is why when people come here, they'll say that Valdosta is anywhere between 20 and 50 years behind the times. And I didn't know when I first retired here from Moody Air Force Base, I had no idea that the suppression of news and other information, unless it's dealing with crime and drugs in the black community for the most part, and robberies and burglary, that type of thing, then it's almost like it's not news at all. And so once again, the fact that out at Moody Air Force Base on the first floor of the 23rd Combat Rescue Wing, there are no picture of President Barack Obama. We were called here in Valdosta, the NAACP, by men and women in uniform and some civilians wanting to know why the commander-in-chief of the airmen at Moody was not posted in the chain of command in the 23rd Wing. And I've traveled out there and they gave me a tour of the base, but yet and still, nothing has been published. The people in Valdosta think everything is fine, and when they hear Tim Golden and Mr. Jack Kingston talk about they love the veterans and this type of thing, you would ask yourself, how could it be that Jack Kingston and those could sit back and be informed about no picture. And I can prove to you that I have notified the Honorable Jack Kingston. It's not out of disrespect, it's out of dealing in truth. I've told them, I've emailed them about it. I have taken a tour out to the base, and I've gone to squadrons where they do have a picture of the president, many squadrons, but not the 23rd Wing headquarters. And that, to me, is unbelievable. And I even asked the wing commander and the public affairs officer to give me the documentation to show that the policies have been changed since I was in the military. But of course, we haven't received any, and I've been unable to give the local NAACP a legitimate answer in terms of why President Barack Obama's picture has not been on that wall within the chain of command for the last almost 4 years. But be that as it may, I just want to give you a flavor and taste for this metropolitan city, home of Moody Air Force Base, Valdosta State University, with all the students out there, Democrats, Republican-crats, Independent-crats, Green Party-crats, and others. And yet there are no pictures of their commander-in-chief. There are no pictures of the man that will send their sons and daughters into combat. And so we're going to leave that up to you and let you decide what's going on in Valdosta and why we can't get a newspaper from Atlanta or from Macon to come down here and begin to report the news, or a TV station somewhere out of Atlanta to come to Valdosta and start reporting what goes on at public meetings and behind closed doors that have been kept secret for so long and have kept the people in an ill state of repair, and they are ignorant. And when you're living in a state of ignorance, too often you're not even aware that you are ignorant. And that is indeed a disgrace in 2012. Once again, I'm George Boston Rhynes, along with John Quarterman and along with James Williams, another guy, along with several other people who now are doing blogs, and we intend to keep the people in South Georgia informed on what others did not want them to know, because we cannot move forward in our schools, in our institution of higher learning, nor in the business arena when we suppress information that the general public needs to know. Once again, this is KVCI channel on YouTube. Bye-bye, go and help me spread the word, so the people would not be deaf, dumb, and blind to the times and unable to make intelligent decisions based on facts. Can you imagine in the next 30 years people look back at the Valdosta Daily Times and they won't see a picture of the president on any newspaper concerning, not his picture, concerning the election, the historic movement by the American people to elect the first black African American, not only for the first term, but for the second term? I think it's a disgrace, and I know we can do better. Once again, I know we can do better. So all the retired military veterans, will you join me in my effort of trying to educate the people here in Valdosta, South Georgia in general, and the state of Georgia, so we can move forward into the 21st century? Bye-bye, we're gone.